This video is all about your hips. It's really important to make sure the hips have their full range of motion and the pelvis is balanced so that our low back stays healthy, our posture is good, and our energy is strong. You can have some blocks or maybe even chair support. And also, you may want to have a towel or a cushion to pad up on your knees, or if your hips are tighter, to put under your seat. So let's go ahead and get started with a little warm up here. We're going to take our feet wide and turn the feet out slightly. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, we're going to sit back into the heels, a little mini squat here. We're going to pull the core in so the lower back is supported. We inhale it up and we exhale it down. Now, these squats can be quite small, or if you're feeling good, you can go lower. Inhaling up and exhale, core supports turn on. We sit back. If you're going lower, those knees are pushing out and tracking over the feet and toes. Inhale up, exhale lower. Inhale up. This time we're going to hold. If it feels good to you, we hold. If it doesn't feel good to you, you can keep going up and down, making sure the knees feel good. We're getting those glutes and hamstrings and quads firing. And we're going to hold for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale it up. Very nice. Awesome. Let's go ahead and start our first stretch. We're going to go into a low lunge. So you can get down to the ground however it feels good for you. I'm going to go through a forward fold. We come to the top of our mat or your towel, wherever you're on. We inhale it up and we're going to exhale. Belly turns on and we forward fold. Now here, let's bend the knees as much as you need to, bringing your hands to the ground. Good. We're going to step the right foot back and lower that knee to the ground. Now, here's a place where you might want to pad up with a towel, especially if your knees are ouchy. Here, because we're going to be hanging here for a moment. So let's get ourselves set up. We want to have that forward foot out in front on the knee or just below the knee, right? Versus having the knee come forward. And we're going to give a couple variations here. So already you may want to have some support. You could have chairs on either side, or you can use blocks or boxes, whatever you have here. You can also place your hand to your knee. So we're going to make a contraction here. We're going to pull the front heel to the back knee and the back knee to the front heel, engaging through the legs. And we're going to pull the belly in and send the tailbone down. So we have a contraction here. Everything squeezing in, and we hold that contraction as we're in our stretch. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, find your inhale, and then exhale on the 1. And we sink a little deeper into the stretch. All right, so finding a position that feels comfortable for you. The stretch can feel intense, but we never want to be moving into any kind of pain. And here I'm feeling a stretch along my quad and the rear leg and through that front hip flexor area. We're going to find our inhale, and we're going to have a long exhale. You might even exhale out of the mouth like a ha sigh. This helps tell the body that we're safe and the muscles and the nervous system can relax. Making sure the lower back feels good, knees feel good, making any adjustments that you need to make for yourself. And take another breath here, finding that long exhale. And we're going to shift the stretch slightly. So now we're going to begin to come down, hands to the inside of the front leg. You can take your supports with you, or you can bring your hands to the mat. Here, the front foot can turn out slightly, and you might want to hang here. This might feel good for you. We can also take a variation and take that hand to the inside of the front knee and just gently pushing that leg open. We check in with the head and neck, just releasing any tension you may be feeling here. And we come back into the breath, finding the inhale deep into the belly and a long exhale. allowing the pelvis to be heavy and sinking down towards the ground. Letting the head and neck go. Nice. So we're going to do one more variation with this stretch. Now we're going to bring the hand to the outside of the front knee and we're going to push it across. Just changes the stretch through the hips and the hip flexors. And again, I would encourage you to use supports however it feels good to you to support your body so that you can relax in the stretch. It's very important that the body is coming into relaxation and a place of ease as we stretch. Remembering we never want to be stretching into pain. It can feel intense, but definitely no pain. We want to find that long exhale. Very good. And just slowly, gently releasing the leg. Maybe bringing both hands back down to the mat. And we're going to tuck those back toes, lift that back knee, and however it works for you, we're going to come back into our forward fold, just making the way there. Okay, we switch sides, stepping left foot back. If you want that pad underneath your knees, go ahead and find your padding. And we check in with the front leg, making sure the heel is below the knee, directly below, or in front. And we find our supports. And again, these could be two chairs here, especially if you're less, a little tighter in the hip flexor. You may be all the way up here like so. That is totally fine. Back toes can be tucked or untucked, whichever works for you. So we find our position where you can begin to sink into your stretch. And now we're going to go for the contraction. Front heel to back knee to front heel, we're pulling in. We tuck the tailbone down, feeling already a stretch to the hip flexor here. Spine is tall. And we contract, pulling in for 5, 4, 3, 2. Find your inhale and exhale for the 1, letting the hips sink down. Adjusting your supports as need be. Good. And again, let's check in with neck and shoulders. Maybe give the head a little roll here, making sure we're not holding any excess tension. Focusing on the breath. Find the inhale deep into the belly and a long exhale. Good. And if it feels good to you, making a transition, hands coming to the inside of the front leg. And you can stay here. You can also have hands on supports. And we can take the palm to the inside of the front knee, allowing that foot to roll open. Maybe it slightly turns out. There's no right or wrong here. If it feels good, it is good. You find a position that works for your body, and we gently open that knee. Letting the head go. You can even let it droop down here. I actually like this because I get a little stretch through the neck and the shoulders as well. And we feel the pelvis heavy towards the ground. Deep inhale into the belly and long exhale. And if it feels good to you, transitioning palm to the outside of the knee, we push the knee across. And you might feel like your foot is falling inwards a little bit. That's totally fine. Finding that sweet spot where you're in a good stretch, but not so intense that you can't relax your body. We'll take a couple more breaths here. Allowing the breath to go deep into the belly and finding that long exhale. Gently releasing and placing both hands on the mat, tucking that back knee and making your way back into your forward fold. Just letting everything hang for a moment. Checking in to see how your body feels. And we're going to make our way to seated. Good. So when we stretch one side of the body and then the other, it is important to note if you have a tight side. So when you are working on your own, if you said, oh, my right side is really tight, you want to go back and do that side again. So we begin to rebalance our body. And typically people have one side tighter than the other. Okay, so we're coming into seated. And we're going to come soles of feet together. Now, here's this place where if you need a cushion under your bum, go ahead and put that cushion underneath there. We want to make sure that the spine is upright here. Core is gently turned on. So if that means you're on lots of cushions or a support, or even sitting in a low stool or a chair, go ahead and get yourself in a position where your spine can be upright. Another thing you can do is sit with your back against the wall, and that can help. All right, so we feel that gentle core support turned on. Let's roll the shoulders, shoulder blades down the back. This may already be a stretch for you right here. And if it is, you can stay right here. If not, we're going to inhale and then exhale and gently come forward. And today we're going to keep the spine long and straight. It's not the only way you can do it, but that's how we're going to do it today. And if your elbows come down to your legs, you can use your legs to help open your elbows to help open your legs. If you're with hands, you can put hands here on your legs. So wherever you are, we are now going to push into our legs, elbows or hands, and we're going to push the legs back. So we're in a contraction. As we stretch, we're turning on the muscles and we hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, find the inhale and exhale 1. Gently let it go. And if it feels good for you to be in a forward fold, we're going to come into that forward fold and allow the head to release down. And we breathe. Deep inhale into the belly and exhale. Release. Good. And on your next exhale, we're going to pull the belly in and gently roll it up. And now we're going to check one side versus the other. So placing one hand behind the back and the other hand to the knee or the inside of the thigh, whatever works for you. We're going to create a contraction here. So knee to hand, hand to knee, we contract. We're pushing into the stretch and resisting it at the same time. And we hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, find the inhale, and 1, release and let it go. And we just gently feel where it feels good to push. How much pressure is totally up to you. And we're going to stretch away from the leg. I like this stretch because it also gives you a stretch for me personally through my low side back here. Find that inhale. Exhale, release, letting the hips go. Notice where you're holding on to any excess tension. Gently let that go. Maybe let the head go. The key is to find the relaxation as we stretch. Good. And gently releasing, coming back to center and switching sides. Palm to leg. We push into the leg and the leg pushes back into the palm, finding that contraction. And yes, we're also in a stretch here. We hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, Inhale and exhale. One. And noticing the difference here between the two sides. Is one side more open than the other? Remember, if that's the case, we definitely want to repeat the tight side again. All right, let's breathe for a moment here, releasing head and neck, allowing the legs to be heavy, hips gently fall open. And slowly and gently we release. Coming back to center, we're going to go for our forward fold one more time and see if we have a little extra space here. So let's inhale, reach up, and exhale. If it's available to you, we come into a forward fold. Noticing if you have a little more room here in this butterfly pose. Allowing the neck to release, head is heavy. Breathing deep into the low back, into the low belly. Finding that long exhale. And on your next exhale, let's gently roll it up, back to seated. Unwind the legs and gently shake it out. Awesome. So now we are going to come onto our backs. We have one more stretch to do today for our hips. So making your way to your back, lying down, we take the hair out of the way. Soles of feet are on the mat close to the hips and arms are out to the side in a T. Good. We tuck the shoulder blades underneath the back, so shoulders are away from the ears. Gently tuck the pelvis, and we're going to send both legs up to the ceiling. And I'm going to cross my left ankle over my right knee, making a forward shape here. And then we place the right foot back to the ground. So this already may be quite a stretch for you here. If that's the case, you just hang right where it feels good to you. If you want to up level the stretch a bit, I'm going to take my left palm to the left knee or thigh, and I'm going to push away. And we can use our contraction technique if that feels good to you here. So I could push palm to leg, leg to palm. And then when it feels good, you find that exhale and you release into your stretch. Now, if you're more open, we may choose to thread the left hand in between the hole of our legs and bring right knee up to the chest and just gently clasp the shin here. Again, just sticking to whatever feels good to your body. There's no race, there's no competition. We cue into the breath, allowing the nervous system to relax. As we find that long exhale, we're sending the message to our muscles that it's okay to let go. And if you feel good here, you're welcome to stay where you are, or we can take one last variation with this stretch. Again, arms come out to the T this time, shoulder blades are tucked underneath the back, and we're going to allow the legs to fall over to the right. So sole of left foot is coming towards the floor. And you could use a block here or a cushion to support if you needed some support underneath that left foot, or the left foot can come all the way to the floor, or it can hang into the air. Let's retuck the shoulder blades underneath the back and find your position that's good for your body. Again, I like this stretch. It gets into the hips. We're also accessing the low back here. And gently scanning the body with your mind's eye, just noticing where you're holding any excess tension and gently letting that go. The legs are heavy and the hips release. We'll take one more breath here, deep into the belly. Long exhale. And on your next exhale, we're going to pull the belly in. Use your core to support the legs coming back to center. Unwind the legs, both soles of feet to the mat. Press through the soles of the feet, lift the pelvis, and just make sure our spine is straight again on the mat. Inhale. Exhale, pull belly in. Send both feet to the ceiling. Cross right ankle over left knee. And left foot comes back down to the mat. Finding the position that works for you. Maybe it's good here. Maybe we bring hand to thigh. If you want to work that contraction, we take thigh into hand into the thigh as we stretch. And when you're ready, you find that exhale and you release the contraction, going deeper into your stretch. And maybe you choose to take right arm through the whole of your right leg and bring left knee to belly and clasping the shin. You can use your arms here to pull the leg in if that feels good to you, but we're going to take those shoulder blades down the back and release the tension from the shoulders. Legs are heavy and hips gently open. As we breathe deep into the belly and we find that long exhale. And if you'd like to transition into the final variation, let's go ahead and take the arms out into a T. Tuck the shoulder blades underneath the back one more time. On your exhale, gently turn the core on and allow the legs to gently fall over to the left, supporting your body in any way that you need to so that you can relax into the stretch. Allowing the legs to let go, heavy into the floor. Allowing the breath to be deep into the belly and the exhale to be long. Scanning the body, noticing where you're holding any excess tension, and allowing your exhale to wash the tension away. One more breath here. And on your exhale, gently pulling the belly in, sitting the legs back to center, soles of feet to mat, and just gently lifting the pelvis, squaring your spine on the floor. Taking a moment to recenter your body. Feeling gratitude for your practice, gratitude for your body, gratitude for all that your hips do for you. And when you're ready, gently rolling to one side, using your hands to help, making your way back to your comfortable seated position. The head is the very last thing to rise. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. I hope your hips are feeling more open and free. And as always, if you need any help with your practice, feel free to reach out. I'm always here to support.